This is the chilling story of the Smurl Haunting, widely considered one of the most terrifying and well-documented paranormal cases in modern history. It is a tale that challenges our understanding of the world around us and asks what truly lies beyond the veil. Our story begins in 1973. Jack and Janet Smurl, along with their children, moved into a seemingly ordinary duplex on Chase Street in West Pittston, Pennsylvania. They were looking for a quiet place to raise their family, a safe haven. But the house had other plans. At first, the signs were subtle, easy to dismiss. Strange stains appearing on the carpets. Tools going missing from Jack's workshop, only to reappear days later in plain sight. Faucets turning on and off by themselves. These were minor annoyances, things you might explain away as faulty plumbing or simple forgetfulness. But soon, the activity began to escalate. The family started hearing noises. Scratching sounds emanated from deep within the walls, like an animal was trapped inside. They would hear footsteps walking through the empty home, slow and deliberate, when everyone was accounted for. Doors would open and close on their own. Radios would blare to life in the middle of the night, tuned to static. A pervasive chill would settle in rooms, a cold so intense it was like stepping into a walk-in freezer, even on the hottest summer days. The family tried to rationalize it. An old house settles, drafts are common, but deep down, a seed of fear was planted. Then, the presence made itself known more directly. It started with smells. A sickening, sweet odor of rot or decay would suddenly fill a room without any discernible source, only to vanish moments later. The family began to see things. A dark, shadowy figure would appear in doorways, a vaguely human-shaped mass of blackness that would linger for a moment before dissipating. It was a silent observer, watching them from the periphery. The children started talking about the old lady they saw in their rooms, a ghostly figure who would stand by their beds at night. The activity shifted from passive observation to active aggression. The sounds grew louder, angrier. Deep, guttural growls would echo through the house, shaking the family to their core. The scratching in the walls became frantic, violent. Family members started to experience physical contact. They would be pushed or shoved by an unseen force. Blankets would be ripped from their beds in the middle of the night. Janet Smurl reported feeling an icy hand touch her back. The physical assaults grew more severe. Family members would wake up with long red claw marks on their bodies, scratches that couldn't be self-inflicted. The entity, or entities, seemed to focus their torment on Jack and Janet. They reported being lifted from their beds by an invisible power, held suspended in the air for a terrifying moment, and then dropped hard onto the floor. Janet described being choked by unseen hands, the pressure on her throat so real she struggled to breathe, begging for help that no one could provide. Jack claimed the entity attacked him directly, holding him down with immense force, an invisible weight pinning him to the bed. He felt the presence wanted to assert total control, to break his spirit. Janet felt the same, a constant mental torment of fear and intimidation that wore her down day after day. The phenomena became explosive. The entire house would shake as if an earthquake was striking. Furniture would slide across the floor or be thrown violently against the walls. A television set imploded. A chandelier fell from the ceiling, crashing to the ground just moments after someone had walked under it. Even the family dog, a German shepherd, was not immune. It would cower in corners, barking and growling at empty spaces, and was once thrown against a wall with such force it was left whimpering in pain. The Smurls were living in a war zone, prisoners in their own home. Desperate and terrified, the family reached out for help. They were devout Catholics, so they turned to the church. Priests from the Diocese of Scranton visited the home. They conducted blessings and held prayer sessions. They sprinkled holy water on the walls and recited prayers of deliverance. For a brief, blissful period, the house fell silent. The Smurls felt a sense of relief they hadn't known in years. They thought their nightmare was finally over. But the peace was short. The activity returned, and this time it was stronger, more malevolent than before. It was as if their attempts to cleanse the house had only angered whatever was there. The priests concluded that this was not a simple haunting. They believed multiple demonic entities were present in the home. They weren't lost souls or confused spirits. They were angry, intelligent, and malicious forces. This assessment led the family to seek out the help of renowned demonologists, Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens' investigation brought the case into the national spotlight. They confirmed the priest's suspicions, stating that the house was infested with a powerful demonic presence. They brought in their own team of investigators and a priest, Father Robert McKenna, to perform an exorcism. During the ritual, the house reportedly went wild. Objects flew, temperatures plummeted, and terrifying noises echoed from the walls. The Warrens said the entity was feeding on the family's fear, growing stronger with every scream, every moment of terror. It wanted attention. It wanted to isolate the Smurls from the outside world and completely ruin their lives. As the story hit the media, the Smurls faced a new kind of torment, public scrutiny. Many people didn't believe them. Skeptics claimed they were fabricating the story for fame or financial gain. They suggested that stress, combined with an overactive imagination, could create a kind of shared delusion, a psychological storm that felt terrifyingly real. Neighbors, however, supported their claims. Some reported hearing screams, banging, and arguments coming from the house when they knew the family wasn't home. Visitors, including journalists and investigators, witnessed objects moving on their own and experienced the inexplicable cold spots firsthand. The origin of the haunting remains a mystery. Some theories suggest the dark intelligence was already attached to the house, perhaps linked to a past tragedy. Others believe the entity wasn't tied to the property, but had attached itself directly to the family, following them from a previous location after a traumatic flood had destroyed their prior home. This would explain why the activity seemed to intensify around them specifically. After years of relentless torment, the Smurl family finally reached their breaking point. In 1987, they fled the house on Chase Street, hoping to leave the nightmare behind and find peace elsewhere. But even in their new home, the haunting didn't completely stop. They reported continued, though less intense, paranormal activity. A lingering presence that followed them, a constant reminder of their ordeal. It was watching, waiting. Believers point to the Smurl case as one of the clearest and most disturbing examples of a demonic infestation, a haunting that actively sought to terrorize and break the living. The sheer volume of witnesses, the physical evidence of scratches, and the consistent testimony over many years make it difficult to dismiss entirely. Skeptics maintain that the entire event can be explained by psychological and environmental factors, a perfect storm of stress and suggestion amplified by media attention. The truth, as it often does, likely sits somewhere in the shadows between these two extremes. What we are left with is the undeniable story of a family left shattered and terrified by their experience. A story that has become a cornerstone of paranormal lore, a chilling account that refuses to fade with time. And for some, the belief that the presence that tormented the Smurls for over a decade is still out there, perhaps even looking for a new way back into our world. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as unsettling as I did, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more of a closer look into the world's most mysterious cases. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. What do you think happened in the Smurl house? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Stay safe and see you next time.